There we go. Hi, you guys. There we go. Hi, you guys. We are having some technical difficulties, but we are working it out. We are working it out. All right, so let me pull my stuff up really quick. I have some juicy stuff I want to talk to you guys about today, as well as telling you guys where I am in my weight loss journey, how much weight I've lost since last time I chatted with you guys. Let's see. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, let me adjust this real quick. First and foremost, we're going to do a weight check-in. For those of you who are not familiar with my content, I create content about my semaglutide weight loss journey. I have been on a GLP-1 for, I guess, on and off for like a year and a half now. And I have been on semaglutide the whole time. I have not really switched to a different one. I've just been kind of on and off of the semaglutide, just kind of according to kind of what's been going on in my life. So I haven't really been consistent with it. But yeah, it's been quite a journey. I've been sharing some of my journey along here on my YouTube channel, as well as over on my TikTok. I share a little bit over on my TikTok, but mostly here on YouTube. And I also talk about different tips and tricks for like weight loss and just tips and tricks for being on a GLP-1, because a lot of people get started on them, but they're not really consistent with it because they start to deal with some of the side effects and different issues that may arise from it. So, so yeah, if you are on a GLP-1 and you're interested in more information, I have an entire playlist, my weight loss playlist that has all sorts of tips and tricks and videos on there for you. So you can definitely get started there. I'll drop the link below once this is published. But yeah, so far, like I said, I've been on a year and a half on and off. I have lost 65 pounds on my weight loss journey. And so I'm really excited to be at that point where right now I'm currently just purchasing new clothes because none of my old clothes fit me anymore. I don't really know my new like size. I haven't figured out what size I am as far as like my pant size and everything like that, but I was wearing like a 12, 13 previously. None of those jeans fit me. They're all super duper baggy on me to the point where they're pretty much falling off. I had an event recently where I had to go, I went horseback riding with my friends, and I hadn't purchased any new jeans yet. I had some pants, but they're mostly like my business, like slacks and things like that. And so I was like, oh crap, I don't know what size jeans I wear. So I just threw on an old pair of jeans just for the horseback riding itself. And those jeans were so baggy on me. The entire front of them was just like scrunched. It looked awful, but I mean, we didn't take any pictures there or anything like that. So it's not like you can see it. but it looked awful. The pants were so big on me. I tried my best to tighten them as much as I could. It wasn't working at all. So I'm definitely at the point where I am pretty much starting my wardrobe all over again, slowly but surely. Um, I know as far as like sizes, like small, mediums, larges, I was in a large slash extra large. Most things I would buy in an extra large just so that they weren't super duper snug on me. And now I am down to a size medium, which is crazy because I don't think I've been down to a size medium since like probably like back when I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, I was wearing like or before I had my son, before I got pregnant, I was in a size medium. And I went up to like a size large as my belly got bigger, but I went right back to a size medium. So it's been years since I was a medium. Um, and probably like the year like after I had my son, I would say that's the last time I was in a size medium, because after that is when I started having issues with my thyroid and I just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's been a long time since I was a size medium. Just for reference, my son is 18 years old now. So it's been a while. So 17 years since I've worn a size medium. And so it's very exciting to actually like, I went shopping. I went on a recent trip to Dallas and I was like, okay, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy myself a couple pieces. So I went to the mall. I went to H&M and to Zara and a couple of other stores. And I was like, all right, let me try on a size medium and see how they fit. Everything I grabbed in a medium and also in a large just in case. And to fit in a size medium and some of the pants were actually a little bit baggy on me was just absolutely shocking. If you guys are on a weight loss journey, you probably understand that like as you're losing weight, you lose it like little by little all over your body. And so sometimes it's shocking to you to like see old pictures of yourself or to try on an old piece of clothing and to see how different it fits you because your body is it's so different. And it happens so small in like such tiny increments that you don't realize how much of an impact it's made or how much you've actually lost. So this entire time I've been wearing like all of my old clothes. I have a lot of pants where they have drawstrings on them, like really flowy palazzo pants, and then my business pants. And then I wear like a lot of dresses and skirts. So yeah, I've noticed that those are bigger on me, but they have elastic on them or they have like a string where I can tie them tighter. But to put on something like jeans that used to fit me super duper snug, like they were skin tight and now they're like so baggy that they're falling off was crazy to see. And then to try on those size medium pants that were supposed to fit like kind of snug and they were a little bit loose on me. It was a good feeling. It was like, oh my gosh, this is all of my hard work right here. So yeah, I was really excited about that. Um, and so yeah, 65 pounds down. My goal for myself, I think I would like to lose like maybe another 15 to 20 more pounds. And I think I might be done. I definitely want to gradually come off of the semaglutide. I realized I had a little bit of a break. I would say the last 4 weeks from my semaglutide. And I definitely saw that my hunger increased like drastically. Um, and so that mixed with the fact that like I was on my cycle for one of those weeks, oh my gosh, the cravings were coming back. My appetite was back. I was stress eating, which is my number one thing that I'm just like, that's kind of how I gained all the weight that I gained was stress eating. And I don't think it really hit me until at the end of the week, I started to reflect and I stepped on the scale. And I try not to step on the scale when it's that time of the month because I'm already bloated. There's so much extra water weight on me. But I stepped on the scale and I was like, oh my gosh, let me let me make sure that I get my semaglutide. So when my semaglutide came in, I made sure I took my shot because I definitely can see myself like gradually like my appetite coming back. And as my appetite came back, yes, I had my good habits that I have in place, but I kind of reverted back to some of my bad habits when it came time to that time of the month and having my cravings. And also during that entire week, also being extra stressed. So I am definitely, when I do get closer to my goal weight, I know for sure I am going to definitely titrate down And then probably microdose for a little while. I have not decided like where I want to microdose yet. That's probably something I'll decide when I get a little bit closer to that point. I've seen some people who microdose, they stay at 1 milligram for a long period of time. Some people go down to like 0.5 or 0.25. I think I'm just going to have to see how my body is when I get to that point. But yeah, I still have another 15, possibly 20 pounds to lose. I'm more so not necessarily just worried about the weight on the scale, but how I feel and how I look. I have a certain like physique that I'm going for. I've always physically weighed more or like been heavier than I actually look, if that makes sense. So if I tell people my weight, they're like, there's absolutely no way that you weigh that much. But I've always been heavier for my actual like body type. And I think it's just more so like muscle mass. It's been like that since back when I was in high school. I was one of the heavier girls when I did like dance and cheer and things like that. So I couldn't really do stunting with like other girls, but I could just do like stunts with like the guys because the guys could lift me, you know? So, and that's kind of when I had started lifting weights and kind of getting like not bulkier, but I was definitely like heavier at that point because I started lifting weights. Oh no, I didn't notice that. Let me turn my notifications off real quick. So even like till this day, I am still heavier than I actually look. So I don't, although I'm using the scale to like monitor my progress, I'm not using the scale as my infinite, like when I'm going to stop taking this medication. So let me know if that's something that you can relate to. Like if you are on this journey, what are you using as your marker for when you are going to choose to stop taking the medication? Now I'm glad that I have lost the 65 pounds, but as far as like my physique and what I want to look like, I definitely want to trim and slim a little bit more. That's why I'm kind of like indecisive on whether it's going to be 15 more pounds or 20 more pounds for me that kind of gets me there. But in this current season of my life, I am going to start focusing more on lifting again. Um, I really enjoy lifting weights, and it's something that once again, I started back when I did cheerleading in high school. And I was one of the bigger girls, but me and one of the other girls who were the bigger girls on the team, we started lifting weights and we started lifting heavy. And that's when I realized how strong I was. And I really enjoyed lifting weights and how toned it made my body look. So in this season, especially more so in the winter time, that's what I want to focus on is starting to lift again. I don't know that I'm going to go directly into lifting heavy again, but I think I'm just going to focus on lifting in general. And then when I feel like I'm starting to get more of my strength back, then I may start lifting a little bit heavier. But that is my ultimate goal right now for myself. I just want to tone my body up a little bit more. So that's where I am on my weight loss journey. For any of you guys that are on your weight loss journey, comment and let me know kind of where you are and which GLP-1 that you're on. I'd love to hear more about it. And so today we are talking about staying consistent in the winter months because in the winter, it's so hard to stay consistent. I don't know if you guys are like me, but winter months, like my body shuts down in the cold. I don't like cold weather. I don't like being cold. I literally have a space heater right here. I just turned it off so it's not too loud during the video. And also because the dress I have on is a little bit thicker, but I keep a space heater next to me. I'm always cold. And when my body is cold, I tend to like shut down. I don't want to get out of the bed. I don't want to go outside. I just kind of shut down, which kind of goes into the whole like the winter blues. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like just seasonal affect disorder or seasonal depression. I can definitely say it affects me in a major way. I actually just did a video and I posted it earlier this week about seasonal affect disorder and just some different ways to kind of combat that. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, because it kind of goes hand in hand with like, you've created all of these routines for yourself to live healthier, to be healthier, to work out and stay moving. And then it seems like as there are different seasons in our lives, it becomes harder to keep up with those routines. And winter is one of the toughest seasons for a lot of people because of seasonal affect disorder. So, first and foremost, the very first thing that I have listed is like establishing a routine. If you don't already have a routine, now would be a great time for you to sit down with pen and paper and create one for yourself, because creating those routines are going to help you to have something to hold yourself accountable to and something to stick to. When all else fails, if you're not feeling well, if you don't know what to do, just having a routine in place is going to help you. And that could be like a morning routine, an evening routine, your workout routine, just having a schedule of what days you do what. If you do lift weights, having that set out, like what weights are you going to lift, what body parts you're going to work on, and what that routine looks like. But it's pretty much just going to be used as your roadmap ahead of what you plan to do to stick to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. As the winter months do come up, there's going to be a lot of different things that you're going to have to push through. And it could be personal goals, it could be professional goals, it could be your fitness and health and wellness goals. It's just going to become a little bit harder to stick to those. So if you are starting with a routine, now would be a good time for you to start to reassess your goals so that you can create that routine. I know a lot of people wait till the top of the year, the new year, new me, but you do not have to wait for the new year to sit down with pen and paper and to reestablish, okay, this is what I want my goals to look like. If you've already done this maybe months ago, and you are like, okay, this is not working, or maybe I want to shift my goal to something different, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's good to sit down once a quarter to look at your goals, to figure out what's working, what's not working, and so you can figure out how to pivot. The more closely you're paying attention to your goals and you're checking in with your goals, the better it's going to be. Because if you have to make changes, it's small tweaks and small pivots that you have to make versus getting halfway towards something or working towards a goal and you're like, maybe I don't really want this. And now you have to do a complete 180, or you have to undo something, or you have to make huge changes. So make sure that when you are setting goals for yourself, that you're writing them down, you're making a big goal into smaller chunks so that you can make it easier to attain and easier for you to track. And you're checking in with yourself often so that you can make any changes that you want to make to them. All right, so next is embracing indoor workouts. Now, this is already something that I have to do. Like I said, I don't like the cold weather. My body shuts down in the cold. I know from previous experience, like I shared on my channel so many times, I was in the military for almost 14 years. And when you're in the military, they do not care what the weather looks like. They don't care if you don't like cold weather. They do not care. You're going to work out wherever they tell you to work out. And this for me was when I established I do not like working out outside in the cold. And I also don't like working out at other people's pace. Okay. Working out in the cold, even running in the cold, like my body aches at the idea of running in the cold. And I love running outside as a runner. Like that's my number one source of cardio, my number one thing that I absolutely love to do. It's a great stress reliever for me. But and I enjoy running outside versus indoors on a treadmill because it gives me the freedom to change up my route. It gives me something new to look at where I'm not looking at the same wall the entire workout. But when I work out outside in the cold, my muscles don't seem to like be able to relax enough for me to actually enjoy the run. And I found that when I'm working out outside in the cold, when my body is so tense, it doesn't matter how much I stretch before or whatever, my body is more tense. So I end up getting more injuries and I just don't get to enjoy the actual run. I will not run however far I set out to run. If I say I'm going to run 3 miles, I'll go outside and after a mile, I'm like, and we're done because I'm not enjoying this. So if you are like me and you don't like working out outside in the cold, I don't blame you. You just have to figure out how to pivot your current workout strategy to do it inside. And there are so many different ways, so many different types of workouts that you can do inside. You don't necessarily have to buy equipment. But if you are interested in purchasing some equipment, like I will tell you about some like places you could get it where it's more affordable. But you don't have to purchase big equipment in order to change your workouts to inside. There are so many different places you can buy small different things like resistance bands and yoga mats, and you can get workout like step benches to do step workouts. There are so many different things that you can buy that are reasonably priced. You could buy them online on like Amazon. You could purchase them at like some stores like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and all of that. They have a whole little section in the back where you can get like discount workout pieces, as well as like Five Below. If you are on a tight budget, go check out Five Below. They actually have an entire workout section, you guys. They even have kettlebells. They have water bottles, stretch tools. They even have like, what's it called? Like little rackets for tennis and for they have pickleball supplies. Anything you can think of, they actually have a really good section of stuff. So if you're on a tight budget, you don't have to sacrifice not working out at all. I know a lot of people are on a tight budget where they can't even afford like their gym memberships right now and they have to give that up. Don't stop working out just because of, you know, whatever you're going through. There are definitely places that you can find more affordable things so you can switch your workouts to indoors. And if you are looking for like bigger gym equipment, like maybe you're like me and you want to continue running, like I've established my run routine where I'm running 2 to 3 times a week. I don't want that to end when it gets cold. You can look online on Facebook Marketplace. There are so many machines on there. People who are selling their machines, maybe they purchased them last year at the top of the new year for their New Year's resolutions and they're not using them. You could definitely find some on there that are very reasonably priced. Also, recently, I've discovered there's a lot of gyms that are closing down for whatever reason. A lot of businesses are closing because of the current state of the economy. But you could go on there and there are entire gyms that are selling all of their inventory and you're getting like name brand, really, really nice high-end equipment for a fraction of the price. So definitely get on Facebook Marketplace, put in your zip code and put in like fitness equipment. You guys, there are so many different things on there from steppers, rowers, dumbbells. I bought a huge dumbbell shelf. Now, when I saw it online, I didn't realize like how big it was and how nice it was, but I was like, oh, that's a nice size. It's a nice small one. I got it last year. My son for Christmas, he wanted a bunch of workout equipment. So I bought him some stuff that was brand new and I bought him 2 pieces of equipment that were used on Facebook Marketplace because literally a piece, like a whole chunk of his room was turned into like a little gym. And when I went to go pick it up, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. And it was a brand new piece of equipment. What happened was the woman had just moved here to Austin and her new apartment was just too small to accommodate the equipment. So she's like, well, I have to sell it. And she sold it to me for, I think it was like $50. But when I looked online, this particular, like you could put your dumbbells on it. You can also put like your big barbells on it. It has a little thing for you to put big barbells. It's huge. And the original piece of equipment, if I were to buy it brand new, is $250. Like that's a steal. And it was brand new. So get on there. I promise if you're trying to build your home gym, that's going to be the place. And there's so many good, like reasonably priced pieces where you could probably buy like one piece each payday and build an entire gym by the end of winter. So don't sleep on Facebook Marketplace, you guys. There are so many good things on there between there and going to Five Below and a couple of other places. Walmart has good equipment as well. I purchased one of my spin bikes from Walmart. And then I purchased a bike for my son last year off of Facebook Marketplace. Both of them, like they're good condition, really good bikes. So don't sleep on like Walmart. Target has some good equipment as well. You can always shift whatever you're doing. If you look online, this is the other thing. If you like to work out in the gym and you have specific machines that you like to use and you have like a trepidation because you're like, how am I going to get this same workout, but with different equipment? There are places you can look online and you can look at the machine and it'll show you an alternative workout that you can do with like a resistance band or with a dumbbell at home to get the same effect, to work the same muscle with different equipment. So look into that as you're building your home gym through the winter time. Do not let the cold discourage you. Don't let a change in your budget discourage you. There are so many great resources out there. The next thing is meal prep. So as the winter months come, it's a lot easier for you to want to get into a slump and to like eat all of your favorite foods. Like I know I've already been eyeing eggnog. Eggnog is one of my favorite things. It's not healthy. It's so fattening, but it's one of my favorite things to have to consume in the wintertime. And it just gives me like a sense of home and like it's a good, like a comfort food, right? And so it's so easy during this time between that and all of these holiday dinners and these parties and work events to like backtrack and to gain weight. But the best thing you can do for yourself is to make sure that you are meal prepping. And if there are like certain foods that you like to eat in the wintertime, you can always look those recipes up and find like healthy alternatives for them. Find a healthier way to make it. Maybe there's a fat-free or low-fat version of some of the different ingredients. Also, maybe it comes down to portion size. Like maybe instead of like overindulging in something, you can still eat it, but just eating a smaller portion or eating a salad as your side or something like that, just so that you're not like slowly but surely gaining all the weight back that you worked so incredibly hard to lose. Some other comfort foods that are really like a little bit easier for you to find healthier switches for would be soups. Soups and chilies and things like that are always so comforting in the cold months. You can find healthier alternative ways to make those online via like Pinterest. I find so many recipes on Pinterest. And then there's a lot of really good chefs that are posting different holiday recipes, but healthier versions of them online. So just look up whatever it is that you're craving and look up the healthy version of it. And I guarantee you'll find a recipe online for it. So the next two things I wanted to talk to you guys about as far as like staying on track, we're talking about staying on track with your health and wellness journey in the winter months, so that you don't miss out and like lose all of the progress that you've made during the summer months and in the fall. And it's setting realistic small goals. Sometimes we set out to do something really, really big, and it sounds like a great idea in theory, but we don't really plan appropriately for it. So if you don't plan properly for it, it's going to leave you at a disposition where you may not actually be able to attain this goal in the time frame that you've set for yourself, or maybe you didn't set up smaller goals for yourself to get you to that bigger goal. And then when the winter months come, you are going to have just a shift in your schedule, a shift in your mood, a shift in the weather. There are so many drastic changes when it comes to winter that may be like the catalyst that makes it even harder for you. So keep all of those things in mind. Like I said earlier, sit down with your goals and reevaluate your goals, but also think about reevaluating them through a different lens, okay? Thinking about all of the different upcoming events that you have going on. Maybe you're traveling during the holidays with family. Anytime you're traveling, it's going to be harder for you to keep up with your health and your wellness journey because it's going to be harder to work out. You're not going to be able to meal prep when you're staying in a hotel all the time, you know? So think about things like that. Look at it from a lens of this current season that you're in and see what tweaks you need to make. Maybe it might take you a little bit longer to get to your goal. Maybe there are going to be some small changes you have to make, but it's better to make those changes and to view this through a realistic lens than to set unrealistic goals for yourself. And then if you don't reach those goals, you're going to feel defeated, you're going to feel down, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, maybe I can't do this. And you don't want to set yourself up for failure like that. So sit down, reevaluate your goals from a perspective of we're heading into winter, we're heading into the holiday season, and it is one holiday after another, after another, after another. How am I going to attack this through this season? How am I still going to get to my goal, but do it with all of these upcoming obstacles ahead of me? And by pre-planning, you might be able to find different ways to navigate around. You might have to find some, you might have to purchase different supplies. Like if you know for sure you want to keep running outside, you're going to have to find some cold weather workout gear. And you may have to look up tips and tricks of how to navigate it. but it doesn't mean that it's not attainable. It just means that you're going to have to find a different way to get to that goal. So make sure that you guys sit down and do that, reevaluating your goals and doing it often to really help yourself. And next is staying hydrated. Staying hydrated is super duper important as well. So hydration is very tough. Like it's very tough in the summertime and it's very tough in the wintertime because it's just two complete opposite, like polar opposites of each other. In the summertime, you're out, you're busy, you're doing all the things. And it's hard for you to remember to carry like your big water jug with you, right? So in the wintertime, you're going to have the opposite effect. You may be in a lot more, but it's a drying effect. When it's so cold, you're going to be drier. So you're going to have to keep up with your hydration. You're going to have to drink more water than you would usually drink. And you're going to have to find new creative ways. If you know that you are not a water drinker, you may have to find like some water enhancers. You may have to get like the water app on your phone that sends you reminders every 30 minutes to an hour. You may have to like set little rewards for yourself. Like if I meet my goal by 12 o'clock, then I can treat myself with something other than water. Like I can have a cup of coffee or I can have a soda. Usually during the winter times, we don't want to drink cold beverages. So that can discourage us as well. We want to drink warm things like warm coffee and hot cocoa and things like that. So make sure that you are in between those things, that you're drinking your water and you're staying on top of your water, because once you get dehydrated, it is so hard to get caught back up. But it's so important, especially if you are going to be extra dry, like our skin's going to be drier during the winter months too. So make sure that you stay hydrated so you're not dealing with all of those things. Whether it be the app or I don't know if you've seen those water bottles that have like the little time on the side of them, like by 9 o'clock you should have this much done, by 12 o'clock this much, whatever like visual thing that you need for yourself to remind yourself to drink water. Just get that so that you don't get behind on your water. And if you do get behind, you start to feel dehydrated, get those electrolyte packs for your water. Those are going to help you to rehydrate a lot faster. So yeah. What else can I tell you? So I did an entire video also on like surviving like the winter blues. If you guys have ever dealt with like the winter blues or seasonal affect disorder, it can definitely catch you by surprise. Like out of nowhere, you'll be like, why am I sleeping more? I feel sad. I feel down. I'm not moving as fast. Like seasonal affect disorder is serious and it can get really, really, really bad. So if you know that this is something that affects you usually in the winter time, I would definitely plan for that, plan ahead for that, and create a plan of what you're going to do so that it doesn't catch up with you. One of the big things is staying in community. And making sure that you have other people around you that are going to be supportive, because if you start to self-isolate, it can get worse, like really, really fast. So make sure that if this is something that does affect you, make sure you communicate that with your circle, your friends or your family, so that you have people that are in your corner that are keeping an eye on you, that know like, okay, wait a minute, I haven't seen her in a couple of days. I haven't heard from her in a couple of days, or he hasn't called me or texted me. Let me check on him. Because once you get in that like isolation stage and you are self-isolating and you're getting away from the things that tend to make you happier, like you're not outside as much and you're not getting that sunshine, as much sunshine as you previously were. Maybe like I would say for those of us who work from home, it's like 10 times worse, because why do we need to leave the house, right? We can order our groceries to the house. We're working from home. There's no reason to leave. So as we begin to stay inside more and we are not around more people, it can start to sink in a little bit more, where you get into like a rut where you don't want to do anything else. So even if you're not an outside activity type of person, you don't want to do the outside things like the skiing and the just being outside in cold weather, find different activities that you can do throughout the season to keep you active and to keep you with your community. So I used the example in my other video, the probably like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I did like a pumpkin painting night with my friends. And I just got little bottles of paint from Walmart. We bought pumpkins and we literally sat around and drank. We were supposed to have hot cocoa, but we drank wine, and we just did girl chat. We just caught up with one another because we hadn't seen each other in like a week or two. And we just sat down and painted pumpkins. Now, the activity itself was not a super duper expensive one. I had most of the supplies already. We just need to buy the paint and the pumpkins and more wine. But you could find other activities to do that don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be like a huge road trip or traveling or anything major. It could just be something small where you're getting together with your friends and checking in with one another to make sure you guys are okay, to catch up. And just being around people that you love and that love you is going to raise your vibration and your feeling and your happiness and your joy. So that you're not self-isolating, you're not stuck in a rut and starting to like just get depressed. And depression can kick in so freaking quick in the winter months, you guys. So make sure that you're doing that. Maybe even if you do have someone else in your circle that is on a weight loss and like a wellness journey, ask them if they want to be winter accountability buddies with you. Like maybe you guys can get together and work out once a week, or maybe get together for a coffee or a lunch date once a week and check in with one another on how you're doing on your goals. Now, I know with my friend group alone, all of us love to work out in different ways. Like one of us is an extreme hiker. And I mean, like she likes to like go to some of the most dangerous hikes in the world, and she loves that. Some of us like to run, some of us hate running. So finding a workout that you guys all love may not be something that's easy to do, right? Or even if you have like one accountability buddy, you guys may not like the same type of workouts. But you guys can still be accountability buddies just by sharing your goals for the week. This week, I plan on running 3 times a week. I plan on lifting twice a week, and I want to stretch 15 minutes a day. Sharing that with that person, and then the next time you see them, they're going to be like, hey, girl, how was your workout? How are your runs this week? Did you finish your workouts? Were you able to stretch every day like you wanted to? Just having that accountability to have someone to check in with, to make sure that you're staying on top of things, and that person is able to check in on you, not to hound you and be like the workout police or anything like that, but so that if you do have an issue where you're like, no, I wasn't able to meet my goals, you guys can talk about it and work through it together. So yeah, just having at least one person in your corner that's going to check in with you to make sure that you're okay throughout the winter months. And then also, it's also therapeutic to do that for someone else, to know that you're looking out for someone and they're looking out for you. That alone is going to be a good reference for you and a good source to have a shoulder to cry on, to have someone to talk to, just in general. Let's see what else. And then last but not least, this is one of the most important ones, is going to be your self accountability. You're going to have to figure out how to hold yourself accountable. And this could be hard for some people for different reasons. Okay. Some of us are super duper critical on ourselves, where if we don't do it exactly how we said we're going to do it, exactly how we write it down, we are going to like bully ourselves or taunt ourselves or just be rude to ourselves, right? And you don't want to go to that extreme, right? You're going to want to make sure that you give yourself some grace, because there are going to be good days and bad days. And like I said, with the winter months coming up, there are going to be days where you don't feel like getting out of bed. You don't feel like getting up for your workout, right? So you want to have systems in place to hold yourself accountable, but you don't want to bully yourself or beat yourself up mentally or verbally or any other way, okay? So figure out how you want to track your level of accountability and figure out different like roadmaps and different reward systems along the way. Like, okay, if I want to hit every 10 pounds I lose, I'm going to reward myself with a day at the spa or a massage or whatever it is that's within your schedule that you can fit into your schedule, and also your budget. It doesn't have to be big things, but maybe a new workout set, a new outfit that you saw on Lululemon or wherever you like to buy your workout clothes. Target has really cute workout clothes. Maybe you're buying a new set from Target. Whatever it is, create an accountability, like a map, your roadmap of what you want to accomplish and how you're going to hold yourself accountable on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis. And then also quarterly, because you want to check in with yourself quarterly to reestablish and make those small pivots that you need to make. And then put little rewards on there. I've had a calendar, an actual calendar, and for every amount of X's I put on the calendar for what I'm supposed to accomplish that day, I would buy myself something. So every 10 workouts, I buy myself like a new shirt, or I take myself out to lunch. That can work for some people. If you like to have that visual reminder every single day of the calendar, if you like to put that on your phone, reminders on your phone, however you like to hold yourself accountable, create a system of accountability and create it now so that as the winter months progress, you can stay on top of it and you already have a routine of accountability. It can be hard to hold yourself accountable sometimes if you're not used to that accountability, because it's very easy for us to tell ourselves, oh, well, it's just me. I don't have anyone else that's checking in with me. No one else is going to notice if I don't get up and work out. But that's where you have to create some type of visualization and something that you set for yourself to hold yourself accountable. And maybe even those rewards that you set for yourself, making sure that it's something that's actually super duper enticing that you'll want to work towards. So if you don't make that workout, you're like, dang, okay, now I'm not going to be able to get that new set of running shoes, or I'm not going to be able to go get my nails done, whatever it is that you set for your goal for yourself and your reward for yourself. Let's see. I think those are the main things I want to talk to you guys about. Oh, another thing is self-care. Self-care during the winter months is going to look different for everybody. And it's going to look a lot different than it is for the rest of the year for you, because it's a tougher time of the year, right? Like we've been talking about, the weather's changing, your mood is going to change. You have so much going on as far as different events and holidays back to back. So self-care is going to look different. Also, our bodies are going to react different to cold weather. Your skin's going to be drier, your hair might be more brittle and drier. So how you take care of yourself is going to have to change. As you're reevaluating your goals, add in self-care and what self-care is going to look like for you in this winter month, in these winter months. Budget self-care for yourself and what you hope to do for yourself and what that budget is going to look like, as well as putting like different checkpoints for yourself. Like if you know that you want to make sure that you're keeping your skin moisturized, or whatever self-care that you're doing for yourself, set check dates in for yourself. Like every week I'm going to go get a facial, or every week I'm going to reevaluate how I like these new products that I'm trying, or how I'm doing with this goal of self-care. Continuing to check in with yourself, making sure that your self-care is enough for yourself and what you're dealing with in that week, but also allowing yourself some grace. Once again, this is an area where people can be super duper relaxed, where they're just like, they let themselves go and they don't do their self-care like they normally would, because you're staying inside a lot for the winter time. Or maybe you don't have family to go check in with, or to see during the holidays. So you're like, all right, I'm just going to be a little hermit crab, or I'm going to go into hibernation. Or people can be hypercritical, the complete opposite end of that. People can be hypercritical because they do have a lot of events to attend and a lot of things to do. So they are kind of like on their highest level of self-care. But either way, no matter what you choose to do, just make sure that you are making realistic changes to your body and realistic self-care goals for yourself, and that you are checking in with yourself and seeing what you need. Maybe that self-care day is you having a do nothing day. Maybe self-care for yourself that day is laying on the couch and binge watching your favorite TV show because you do so much during the week. Whatever self-care looks like for you is okay. You don't have to explain it to anybody else. It is what's best for you. So write those things down. Maybe if you are interested in some type of journaling or something like that, now would be a great time to do that. Add journaling into your routine so you can check in with yourself on a daily basis or on a weekly basis about how you're feeling, how you're progressing towards your goals and things like that. And maybe that is your self-care time at the end of every day, where you light your candle and you journal and you spend 15 minutes by yourself, which can be hard when you're a parent sometimes. Just finding time to take care of yourself and then finding quiet time to make that self-care actually happen. But make sure that you're checking in with yourself and that you are taking care of yourself in these winter months, because they can be very tough. And it can be very hard for you to stay on top of taking care of yourself, because this is a season where we do so much for other people and we want to show up for other people. And we want to make sure we have gifts for our family and all of the things. So we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. Especially if you are a parent, we tend to definitely put ourselves on the back burner, because all we can think about is making sure that our family is good and that we are able to make those family traditions happen and the kids have gifts under the tree or whatever the case may be. So make sure that you are cutting out some self-care time every single day and at least every single week for yourself, so that you are still loving on yourself, checking in with yourself and your goals, and also giving yourself some time for grace for yourself, where you're forgiving yourself for maybe not reaching your goals for that week and just reevaluating how you're going to pick back up the next week. Uh-oh, I don't know if the chat is even on. I can't really see anything. I just noticed that. That's so weird. All right, well, we are approaching the top of the hour. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you guys about. I really wanted to make sure that I got on here, checked in with you guys on my weight loss and how that's going, and check in with you guys, see how you guys are doing on your weight loss journey. And then just kind of talk about winter months, because the winter is, I mean, it's coming. I've seen some of my friends who live up north and it's already snowing and all of that. I know where I'm from. I'm originally from Alaska, and Alaska and then Seattle's kind of like my second home. And both of those, like Alaska and Washington, are both states where it's so dark, and that darkness can be like so overwhelming. It's so hard when you don't get that normal amount of sunshine, and people tend to slip into like depression. It's cold outside, so there's nowhere to go. It's dark outside constantly. You're not getting sunshine. And then you just tend to kind of trap yourself in your house. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. Um, and where I'm from in Alaska, with it being so dark in the winter months, like it's quite a huge chunk of the year where it is like that, and it is so extremely cold, where it's like when it's negative 20 degrees outside and it's dark, like where are you going to go? What are you really doing, right? So people tend to really trap themselves in their homes, and it's so easy for you to lose all of your progress that you've made throughout the rest of the year in those winter months. And although some people are completely okay with that and they're like, we'll pick back up at the start of the year, um, I know I myself, I know how I am. I know how I get in the winter months. I am totally working on my accountability, and also just like giving myself grace on days when I'm not feeling it, but holding myself accountable to actually keep up with my fitness goals. Um, I know I'm not going to be running outside. I'm not going to do it, but I am going to be looking for a treadmill so I can purchase a treadmill to work out inside, so I can keep on running, because I've gotten to a point where I've always loved running, and I love being able to run at my own pace. I love being able to like get my stressors out with via running. Like I will come home from the most stressful day ever, and the first thing I want to do is throw on my running shoes and go for a run. So I don't want to lose that as my stress reliever. I love the feeling of like the runner's high after I run. After I'm done running, now I'm going to lay on the floor and catch my breath, and then I'm going to stretch. But after I finally get my composure back, I get this runner's high like out of nowhere, that like I use that boost of energy and I will clean and I'll cook and I do all the things. So like I love that feeling. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose my progress that I've made with my running journey. So I'm definitely going to have to pivot and just try something new. I'm not a huge fan of running on the treadmill, but I'm definitely going to be putting my treadmill in my living room. We're turning my living room into a gym, and my third bedroom into like a living room, if that makes sense, more of like a chill room slash office. And so there's not going to be an excuse. There's going to be a treadmill and there's going to be a TV, and maybe I will have my favorite TV show that I watch, but I will just be able to watch that show when I'm running or when I'm walking on the treadmill, something to that effect, to keep me accountable, but also as like a motivator to continue to run, so that I don't miss out on that progress. I know I want to do like at least like a 5K. I don't know about a half marathon. That was my original goal this time last year. But I know most of those are in the springtime. So if I lose all of my progress that I've made so far, like just by not running in the wintertime, it'll be like starting all over again in the spring. And I don't want to lose that progress. So I'm definitely going to be purchasing a treadmill and figuring out how to hold myself accountable to continue to do my workouts. In the meantime, here in Texas, it's still pretty warm. I went on a run outside, not yesterday, but the day before. I went to go run 3 miles, and it was still pretty warm. I literally wore biker shorts and a t-shirt, and had no issues. So I'm going to enjoy this warmth while it lasts and take advantage of it and get as many more outdoor runs in as I can while I am budgeting to purchase a treadmill. And probably, I'm going to guess probably by maybe by the second week of December, it'll start to be like too cold. Well, too cold for me when it comes to running outside. So hopefully by then I will have my budget in place, my money saved, so that I can purchase my treadmill. And so that is my plan for holding myself accountable this winter. We already have a ton of weights in my house. So as far as lifting goes, I have everything I need to be lifting. Like I mentioned before, my son had asked for a bunch of workout equipment last year for Christmas. And so we have a weight rack, we have weights, everything you can think of. We already have all of that stuff. Stretching equipment. I did see a cool new stretch thing that I want to purchase. I do want to work on my flexibility this winter as well. But yeah, we have almost everything else that I need right here in this house to work out. I just need the treadmill for when it gets cold outside, which will probably be in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys plan to do to hold yourself accountable this winter. How are you switching up your workout routine to accommodate the cold weather? And then what type of self-care plan you guys have for yourself? What type of self-care do you plan on adding for the winter months? Especially if you know that like winter sadness, winter blues, seasonal affect disorder is something that affects you. Like how you plan on attacking that this winter. Thanks for everyone for joining me here on this live. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.